Hola, ¿qué tal? Pura vida, mae. If you know where that comes from, you know that my video is about to be about Costa Rica. So as you guys may know already, if you guys watched my Costa Rican vlog, I was in Costa Rica this past summer for 5 weeks. And this video is just kind of just telling you some things about the Costa Rican country, my experience, and kind of just chat. Okay, so first thing, Costa Rica is a beautiful country. Like, when I say beautiful, I mean beautiful. I was staying at San Jose, which is the capital of the country. But every weekend I had some planned excursions. So I was in Manuel Antonio, Monteverde, Punta Arenas, like just a whole bunch of like outskirt places that are really nice, especially like for vacation, because they have the beaches, they have zip lining and stuff like that. I really recommend you guys going outside of the city and doing really cool things. If you're interested in going to Costa Rica, I recommend that you go and look at Irasur, Poás, which are like the volcanoes. Go zip lining. It was the most craziest experience ever. It was amazing. Go to Manuel Antonio, the beach is beautiful. Go to Tortuguero, like just go out there. But anyways, Costa Rica is a country filled with biodiversity. You have all sorts of species in the forest, in the rainforest, you name it, they have it. I think they have like 5% of the world's biodiversity. You could check me on that, I don't know. But it was an amazing time. So if you are planning on going to Costa Rica, just keep in mind you're going to be eating a lot of gallo pinto. What is gallo pinto? Los costarricenses dicen que son más tico que el gallo pinto, which means they say that they're more how to explain this? It's so hard to explain. If you're Costa Rican, you know that how to even translate this. But essentially what it means is that's their typical meal. That's what they're known for. Their breakfast is gallo pinto. It's like a mixture of white rice and black beans and, you know, other like spices or whatnot. And they eat that with eggs, perhaps some plantains. And it's a very heavy breakfast. Yes, you heard me right. They eat that for breakfast. Because Dominicans and Cubans, we eat moro negro, or how Cubans call it, I think they call it moro con gris, if I'm not mistaken. But we eat that for dinner. But the Costa Ricans, they eat that for breakfast. For them, it's like a really protein-filled breakfast that was used especially for farming, when the men will go out and farm or hunt or whatnot. Another thing you will be eating a lot is a casado. A casado is another typical Costa Rican meal, but this is more for like lunch or dinner. This is your arroz, your white rice, your pollo, carne, whichever type of meat, your frijoles negros, and you're gonna have your frijoles negros, which are black beans. You're gonna have your plátano maduro, and they're basically fried plantain slices, which is delicious. It's so similar to the Dominican dish that I usually eat, but it's still distinct in a sort of way. The flavors are different, and it's just interesting how we're so similar yet so different. So yeah, that was really cool. Also, Costa Rica is super laid back. If you're from New York, take a chill pill and go to Costa Rica, and you'll be confronted with the fast-paced society that you live in the US or in New York City. Coming from a place where I'm just like, gotta go, to being in a place where I have to wait like so long for my meal. My friends and I had this joke where it's like, you should not go to a Costa Rican restaurant hungry, because you would wait for hours. And it was super chill, like it's super okay. Like it's not like you can complain about it, because they're just running on tico time. So no te apures. No te apures mucho. no vaya con hambre porque los ticos cogen su tiempo. Like they take their time. One thing I noticed about Costa Rica is that it's super Americanized at this point. And of course, it's Central America's largest tourist spot. So you're bound to just have so much American influence. There's Popeyes, there's KFC, like you name it, Forever 21, whatever store you can think of, it's in Costa Rica. And like the Costa Rican Mall in San Jose looks like the Palisades Mall to me in New York. So it's just very Americanized. So at some points I was just like, I feel like I'm in the US. Like I wish it was a little more authentic, you know. But obviously that's just the case in San Jose. You go to rural areas, outskirts areas, and it's a completely different story, right? But that's just my analysis on San Jose and the malls and the stores, and even the Costa Rican stores in San Jose. You will see like American style, visto americano, blah blah blah. We've come like, bro, just be Costa Rican. Like we enjoy coming here because we want to absorb your culture, your style. So another thing is, when you think of Costa Rica, perhaps you think of a third world country or just like a really underdeveloped country, but it's not. It actually has one of Latin America's most stabilized governments. They are, you know, very big on democracy, and they actually have a pretty stabilized economy. It's actually a pretty developed country, comparing it to other Latin American countries. So yeah, Costa Rica is no joke, and it's not as cheap compared to like Panama or Nicaragua. Like your dollar doesn't mean as much there as it would mean in other places, which is obviously a sign of how their economy is, right? So yeah, save your coins before going to Costa Rica. Another thing, Costa Rica is the mother of roach land. Yes, I said it. There are so many roaches in Costa Rica. Like, and it's different. This is so weird, but it's a different kind of roach situation. Like, okay, Costa Rica has two seasons, the wet season and the dry season. I was there for the wet season. Of course, there were sunny days, and when you go to the coastal areas, it's hot, it's warm, or whatever, but it's known to be the season in which it rains the most. So I think because of the rainforest, the rain, and the humidity, we all know roaches love that kind of environment. So literally, I would find a roach in everywhere. Like, it was weird, and it was disgusting because, like, I was just freaking out. Like, the first night I was there, I was like, if this is what this trip entails, I'm going home. But then, like, it became like a thing that you just get used to. Like, you're walking down the street and you see like two roaches, like the water bug ones. And then, like, oh my god, it just creeps me out thinking about it, because it was just the worst. Like, that was like the downside of Costa Rica, to be honest, because I hated that. But I think it's due to like the climate, because it's not a dirty country at all. Like, it's a really clean country. And so it has nothing to do with like the cleanliness of the homes or the neighborhoods. It's not like New York City, like if you see a rat, it's because it's really dirty. Like, that's not really the case in Costa Rica. It's just like the weather produces or causes these animals or pests or devils or demons to come out. You know, it's disgusting. And in regards to the population, in San Jose you have a large population of mestizo looking Costa Ricans, which is a mixture of white and indigenous. So you have a more white or Caucasian looking population in San Jose. But once you leave San Jose, in the outskirt areas, in the other provinces, whether it be Guanacaste or Punta Arenas or whatever, you have the more indigenous looking Costa Ricans. When you go to Limon, which is another province, that's where all the dark skinned people are. Of course, not all, but the majority. And when I was there, I would always say like, "Si soy de Limon," and like even some people would ask me if I was from Limon, and I would like act like I'm from Limon, but then I won't have the accent, so I'm like, oh, maybe I'm lying. But yeah, it was cool. I want to make a video actually just talking talking about that because while I was there, I would observe how most white Costa Ricans, or a great majority of them, were situated in San Jose, where everything is at, where the political arena is, where the job markets are, and everything is. And then when you go to the outskirts of Costa Rica, that's when you see more colored people, whether it be the dark ones in El Caribe, whether it be the indigenous ones in rural areas. And that says a lot about the country's history and how they view, how they identify themselves in race, when the people holding political power tend to be whiter. And of course, props to Costa Rica, because last year they had they inaugurated their first black vice president, which props to her. I'm so proud of her. But yeah, I mean, I would love to talk about that in a Latin American race identity video I'm planning on making soon. So if you have any questions, let me know about that, because I was really observing just the race relations and how they identify themselves in Costa Rica, and it was really interesting to me. But yeah, Costa Rica overall was amazing. I loved every part of it except the roaches, and I plan on going back. Like, I had such an amazing time. I met amazing people while being there. It was just honestly the time of my life. I would love to go back. I would love to just experience everything all over again, because honestly, I loved Costa Rica. Pura vida. Pura vida. Pura vida. Pura vida. Pura vida. I love you guys. Don't forget to like and subscribe. If you have any questions in regards to my trip, if I didn't cover everything and you have some questions because you're planning on going there, let me know.